I've been writing this technology review column for the Times for 10 years now, and over again, the ones that are really awful, turns out it wasn't the idea behind the product that was terrible, it was decisions made by its shepherds bringing it to market. So either they rushed it to market, or the technology wasn't working and everyone was too afraid to stop the train to say this needs more work, or lawyers got in the way, one thing or another. It's always the human factors that derail that train.
And so one problem is features creep, where you try and cram too many things into a product. And I think I almost needed to see your presentation to realize, yes, I do love simplicity more than I love complexity and features. Do you think that that's just the future? Is an increasing awareness and appreciation for simplicity?
No, I don't. I think that the overwhelming instinctual drive for product managers and hardware and software companies is to add features each year that goes by. Adding features is how you're going to sell the next version. I mean, it's obvious, right? What they don't understand is that after a certain minimum point, adding features makes it worse. Makes it harder to use, more complicated, more buttons and less space. I was pointing out all the examples of extremely simple products, the iPod, the iPad, the flip camera, the Wii, extremely simple technologies where the limited number of features all work great, and the minute you try them as a consumer, you're like, oh, this is fantastic, you know, whatever it is. They always work. But to get there in a corporate environment, when there's this series of steps to bring the product to market, is really hard, because every cell in your body is telling you that's the wrong approach. People want more, not less. It's really hard to get your brain around the fact that you're wrong.
And you also talked about empowering employees to be able to hit the stop button when something is going wrong. In an assembly line, it's easy to visualize how that would happen. In in a startup or even in a larger company, it maybe is harder to visualize. What advice can you give in empowering employees to hit the stop button?
I mean, over and over again, when I review something terrible and write a scathing review, I get whistleblowers from inside the company who contact me privately and say, you know what, you're right. We all knew it was a dog, but nobody dared speak up. Everyone was afraid to say the emperor had no clothes. So part of that is that everyone's enjoying the paycheck. They enjoy the work. They know that it's a turkey, but it's not going to affect them. They still have a job. But at the same time, if there were a program put in place from the top that says any of you is allowed to derail, this machine and say, wait, we have to fix this or it's going to suck. If there could be some sort of institutionalized program like that would not jeopardize people's jobs, then there wouldn't be so many of these products that come out and tank. Products that everybody knew would tank. In the movie industry, there are frequently movies that are all made with big stars and they're all done and edited and ready, and the movie's terrible, and they don't want to spend $200 million marketing it if they know it'll never make its money back, so they shelve it. The movies never see the light of day. It goes on all the time. I don't think that happens in consumer gadgets. I think that once the train has left the station, I think it comes to market and they all just stand there and watch it die.
And the momentum has taken us to the holiday season now, where it's sort of a hard deadline for a lot of gadget manufacturers. Your thoughts are it's better to come out in January than to have a dog in December, is that right?
That's also very counterintuitive, but I would say yes. If you come out with a rushed product filled with bugs just to make the holiday season, what's going to happen? You're going to kill the entire program. Not only will 1.0 die, but there will never be a 2.0. So that's my argument for maybe it's better to hold the thing off a couple weeks, come out a little late, but it's good. I don't know if you remember the story of the Pixar movie Cars, but the thing was about ready to come out, and Steve Jobs, who owns Pixar, came in and said, this isn't good. You have to change the plot. I mean, redo it. It took them another 2 years, I think, before that movie finally came out. They had to redo it from scratch, and of course it was a huge hit. So sometimes it's worth pulling that stop handle.
And so you have a series of books that are the manuals that should have been written. I think this is a great idea. You're going to be doing a book signing, so just tell maybe people the scope of those books and what they try to accomplish.
Sure. Well, it's called the Missing Manual series, and there's about 120 books in the series now. Mine are Windows, Mac OS X, iPhone, and a couple others. And the idea is to cover the entire product, and above all, yes, it's to teach you how to use the software just like any other book does, but our emphasis is on telling you which things you need to care about. In other words, they pile on features, but half of them you'll never use in your life. I mean, oh my gosh, I was looking through the latest Microsoft Word, and who's really going to design their website in Microsoft Word, really? And so there's a reassurance factor. It's like, you're going to see all this stuff, you're never going to use it. Don't worry about it. You didn't put it there. You're not required to use it. If you only use 5% of the features and they work for you, you're cool. So there's a big emphasis on what you'd use it for, if ever.
Well, thank you very much, David. We're big fans of your reviews and the role that you play as a whistleblower when things are just wrong. So it's nice to have you here.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.